Hey guys, I'm Jay. If you're new here, I teach all things Illumibot, tips, tricks at a first grade level. I'm new to Illumibot. My goal here is to teach and to take all the fear out of using Illumibot. So join the journey, let's learn together. If you're learning stuff on this journey, help comment in the comments to teach us, me, to make our experiences better. Here's the thing, how to set up Illumibot in minutes. Now this is just one way to do it. I'm just showing you one way and I plan to show many different versions. This is a low budget version. If you don't have the enclosure and you're not putting it into the ground, this is a lower budget version of how to set it up, but you'll see it'll only take minutes. It's just one way. And it really is that fast versus, I will say, having to put up all the Christmas lights. You can put some up to complement it, right? The different things, but man, it's really fast. All right, so I started off, and I'm gonna give you some tips as we go on. This is just one of those Costco tables, right? I'm gonna use this to set up my Illumibot. Now you could use a TV tray. You're thinking, what if I use a TV tray? I don't recommend it because you're spending a lot of money on your projector and you want a stable surface. Walmart, just for a heads up, at least my Walmart, used to have those nice card tables, those squares. They don't have them anymore. What I'm finding that they have at Walmart now is a super low table and you don't want to break your back. So I recommend, Costco has a newer version of this table. Similar, I think it's a little bit heavier, but you want something sturdy. This is a 6-foot table. So just take your table. We're gonna come over here and you're gonna see how easy this setup is. All right, so I got my table. Now here's what I know. This is the spot to where, and I'll show you guys, I'm gonna project onto my house. I've measured it out, I've tested. So once you've done those things and find the right spot, it'll just move easy. So all I'm gonna do, you'll see, I'm gonna open up my table. Make sure you have a good one. We don't want to ruin your projector that we just spent so much money on. All right, boom. Now this actually works out perfect. You could get away with a smaller table. I just like this. Gives me a little bit of room to maneuver. So I'll show you that. All right, so, all right, look, that took us about 2 seconds. So the table's up. It's super sturdy, and now we'll move to next. There's not very much. All right, get yourself a tote. However you want to do it. In my tote, and you can keep this in the house. You can keep, I wouldn't recommend the garage, right? We live in Arizona. I probably wouldn't hurt it, but I don't want this in the heat and the elements. So get yourself a little tote. Keep it inside the house somewhere convenient, and then you'll put your projector. I have my Illumibot. I'll show you. So just bring this over, and it really is that fast, the setup and takedown. All right, and then here's my music. On my next video, I'll teach you guys how to connect music to your Illumibot. Like there's a way, but here's my speaker, and I got, this is just a Pathfinder speaker I got from Costco, and I'll talk to you about connecting and what your options are. My little speaker, I bring it over here, and I know, so I have power here. When I do the show, this bush right here, I hide my speaker behind this bush, and nobody can see it. So many times, you guys, people go, hey, where's the sound coming from? They never. So when we do that video, if you can hide behind bushes, however loud, I just like a real big booming sound. And I'll talk about that on the next video on why I recommend the big sound. Let me get my little books that adjust my Illumibot, and then I'll be right back. We'll move the camera and I'll show you the setup. Okay, so the table's set up. You saw how quick that is. You're gonna need a power cord that's long enough to go to your house. And let me show you. So get a power cord. that will connect to your power source, because the robot's going to go here and the projector, and then we need to have a power source. I bought this. So you can take a single cord. It's Christmas time, the holidays. It's the 3-plug outlet. You can just take this, plug it in here, and now you just created 2 more outlets. You have your power cord for your projector, power cord for Illumibot, and then you have 1 extra, okay? So I just take this, leave it here on the bush, right? And I recommend get a longer power cord, just, a longer extension cord, just so you have the room to play with. And I will show you. And so when you're doing your setup, and it's during just the normal time of year, it's not Halloween, and you're not gonna have a ton of people, you don't have to tape it down. But if you're gonna get the crowds, and I'm gonna show you a trick on taping this down so that people don't walk all over it, you're just gonna use duct tape and put in the groove. I'll show you that. But right now I don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. But of course on Halloween, you want to have safety, right? Always number one, so people don't sue you, they don't get hurt. I'll show you that. So I take my cord, right? We're gonna go around here. It's gotta follow me. We gotta go around here, okay? And we're gonna go up. Now, you may have a timer, right, to run your power, dawn to dusk, run it for 6 hours when it gets dark, or not. So my plug outlet is here. So we'll plug here. My speaker goes here. I'll move it behind the bush. And then, of course, we'll project on the wall. Okay, done. Now we'll come back over and we'll put the projector together. I'll show you how easy this is. And you know what's great? You're not breaking your back. I'm going to recommend this. Check this out. I got this Home Depot. All right. I know it's nerdy, but I don't care because it works. It's a 3-pack of these headlamps. Listen, because I'm out here right now just to show you, but when you're at nighttime and you need your hands free, I thought to myself, why didn't I get this sooner? I've been holding a flashlight, right, all these years. Look, I mean, it's blinding, right? It has 2 modes. It has a brighter, less bright, and then like a red flashing. But I'm telling you, hands-free, you see what you're doing at night. Okay, so I recommend Home Depot. It wasn't too expensive. Here's that. It's that red mode flashing. All right, so a little headlamp. Then you're just gonna pull your stuff. Now, you can do this anyway. I've been keeping it in the boxes. So it's this, literally, this fast. Okay, you take out let me tell you something on a projector. If you're new as I was, you're like, does this come off? Does it not come off? Right? Because you don't want to break it. Yes, if you see this little bit of cord, the slack, that just pops off. And when you go to it, you got to put a little muscle into it. You can't be like, I was like, oh, I don't want to break anything, right? Because it's new. You got to put a little muscle, pull it off. Right, that'll be the start of your show. Little things we're learning if you've never used a higher end projector. So you're gonna set this down just like this. And I'll give you a mistake I made. So when you figure out where your projector is supposed to go, don't forget. Now you do have some wiggle room, but I had put my projector a little too close and the show was off. I'm like, what is going on? And then, right, because all these things are new, you're trying to think of all these things. I didn't have it close to where I normally had set it up, right? We take that little photo, you do your masking, corner pinning. If it's not close, the show's gonna be off. Now, do you have to obsess about where your placement is on the projector that's perfect? I have to mark it, I want the perfect line. I mean, you can do that, but the point is, when you are close, like how I remember is this table, how you fold it, has a line in the center. So I know that when I originally did it, it was just a little back from the line of the fold. So if I pull it close a little, if I move it back a little, it's gonna be fine. Because remember, and maybe you guys will become rich one day and design this, right? Or Illumibot can come up with this. When you set your projector up standard, it typically will shoot the image high And what I found is we have to tilt it. So I use 2 books and a cutting board. Seems to be the right, the right height for me to tilt my projector to get it lined up right. So maybe we can come up with some kind of locking mechanism, adjustment, right? So that you can, easier, but I don't know, maybe there is one. You guys can let me know in the comments, or if there's not one and you make it big from my idea, Turks and Caicos, my favorite place in the world. Just saying. All right, so you got your books, get your power cord, right? You're going to take your power cord. And of course, I'm moving slower. I try to do this if you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, like myself. So you can take the power cord, has these 3 little holes, and you're going to match it up to the 3 little holes, right? On this is a ViewSonic. It goes right there. Done. That's it. There's nothing else to the projector except this power cord. Now, a lot of them come with a little remote control. You can turn it on from the remote. You can turn it on from the projector. As I learn these projectors, like I said, I'm starting out. We'll do videos down the road. I can talk about the adjustments. There's brightness, there's contrast. So let's say you're doing your show. This reminds me of a point. And you don't love, you're like, we've looked at, and we'll go through lighting and ambient lighting. And why is it dull? Why is it better? But if you've checked all the boxes and you're like, I don't know, I'm not in love with the image. And remember, a lot of this with the Illumibot, the AI image can look better on some of your house and worse on the others. It depends on the image, meaning no house is the same. Like I have a brown garage, white, like a white beige stucco. Certain images look better, certain ones I won't even put on. So you have to kind of learn your house. So it might not even be that it's your projector, because I thought that. As you start making these images, you're going to go, whoa, this pops, and then my projector's good, and I didn't waste my money, and Cooley recommended this, the jerk. See what I'm saying? So there's some things to learn. So a lot of times, it's most of the time, if you're like, the ambient lighting is good, all the things, it could be the image. But on a lot of these, and I don't know where this one is yet, there's a contrast and a brightness button so that you can adjust that will make your image better. And I'll just show you on this one, there's a focus. Now, the higher end ones have an autofocus. This is like old school. You can adjust. And if your vision isn't great like mine, I'm still looking at it like, can I get it any better? So I just wanted to show you that. Ease a little of those that are new to this. Now, if you've been projecting forever, you're like, we know, Cooley. But remember, these videos are for 1st grade levels. And if you have any wisdom to add, please let us know in the comments, because really we're all learning, and I just want to take that fear and some of that scariness out of this. So we're there. You're right. Now, we don't need this cord. This is good. Keep it in your box. This is good. Okay. We're all good. Right? I can put this back in my ViewSonic box. The only reason I don't have it, I might get a bigger tote. This is kind of a cheapy one that I'm just throwing it in here, but you'll get the idea. Next, step 2, the Illumibot. So that's all we need to do. So Illumibot, we're going to open this up. And I forgot the other night. I'm like, why am I not getting an image? I'm like, duh, moron. You didn't have everything plugged in. All right. So we have our antenna. There's going to be a power cord. Here's what's so great about this. There's only 2 plugs, power cord, and this like a USB is going to go into your projector, so that this, which is the little brain of Illumibot, can tell your projector everything, because your projector is not going to know. So what you're getting, this little square, this is the brain. All your shows, everything you do is stored in this and in your app, right? So in your app, it goes from your app to the brain, and then the brain, once we plug it in, tells the projector, all right, this is what we're shooting, okay? And then this is just so that you pick up your Wi-Fi signal better, just that you can pick up your house signal. It's like an extender, I believe. So we're gonna plug this in. Now I'm gonna show you, remember my little 3-way prong? Power cord from the projector, Plug that in. And then now, power from the Illumibot. Just this guy goes in. We're literally almost done with the Illumibot, the projector, being ready to go. It's really that easy, but it's not that easy when you're new. So I get it. That's why we're making these videos. All right, and then I'm telling you, the corner pinning and stuff, I'm scared to death still. We're learning, but we'll get there. Put your little ears up for your antenna. Set that down. And then the last thing we have to do to start our show, we'll have power, is to plug the Illumibot. So this little cord is going to go back. You're going to see, it's going to say, what does it say? It's an HDMI. So on a lot of these projectors, it'll say HDMI 1, 2. I just go into 1. Have I had a problem? No. But if you go into HDMI 1 and it doesn't work, then go into 2, right? And if that doesn't work, then ask for a tech ticket and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. So the other night, I didn't have this plugged in. And I was looking for a few minutes, like, why is my show not starting? And then I was like, duh, moron, because you don't have it plugged in. I don't know. I feel as I get older, you guys, and I can't see, right? Isn't it fun to get old? You can't see as well. I'm telling you, like, I'll be 53 here in a couple days, two days, and it's just, it's a while to get older, right? I did lie. I forgot. There's one more cord, all right? This is a cord, let me show you, for the speaker. And I'm going to explain to you guys, you're saying for the volume of the speaker, right? To add noise. I'll do a whole video on that. Why not use Wi-Fi, Coolie? You can, but there's a lot of cons to doing that. And like I said, I'll make another video how to connect music, right? Or volume to a big outdoor speaker. So you want to use a cord or a 3mm. And this is very simple, right? I was overwhelmed. How do I connect the speaker to the Illumibot, right? This is all it is. It takes the fear away. It's just one of those little jack, right? So this is going to plug into the Illumibot. And I'll do a longer video, show you like at a first grade level. There's a little thing that will say like audio out. You're going to plug this in the back. And the other end is the same. The other end of this cord looks just like this. And we're going to come around here to our speaker. And all speakers have this. It'll have an audio in, or if it doesn't even say it, it'll just say audio. I'm going to plug it into here. And then we're going to magically have sound that's going to come from the projector, and it's going to project on through that speaker, and it will 10x your show. And I'm going to tell you why. You know, as you're doing this and things to process until I make that video, music is the game changer to all of this. And when I make that, I'm going to explain why. Music will 10x your show more than anything else. It's the least expensive thing you can do, right? Or talking, and most people don't do it, and it will elevate what it does. Music, talking with the outdoor speaker, is it brings your house to life magically. Without it versus with it, it's basically like this. You're in an average house on the street versus I'm at a theme park, I'm at Disney, I'm at Universal. That is how powerful noise, music, makes your house come to life, and you can story tell with it. But we'll get deeper on that. So I just wanted to show you. So we'll plug this in, okay? But you saw that. I'm going to throw it back in my box. And we are pretty much there. Let me show you. And I slow this down, and I oversimplify it because I need that. You know, a lot of people who are great at tech, which a lot of you guys will be, it's simple, right? It's second nature. But then you have people like us who are like, what does even the controller do? So I just want everybody to be like, all right, we get it, Coley. You've beat the horse enough. All right. So we are now, here's my spot. All right, we're on the table. Let me lower this a little bit more, just so you guys can see here what I'm doing. Right? I've no one filming this, just me and this moving camera. So this is probably the trickiest part. All you're gonna do now, in fact, we'll do it in real time. I'm gonna turn the projector on from the little red button. Let's see. I have everything plugged in. Is it working? Oh, let me plug the power in. Or see, like if you don't do it, repetition, everything's plugged in, but not my power. So 3 seconds. This power cord is gonna run everything. So let me plug this in. Because you're like, cool, it was that easy. All right, now we're good to go. All right, so let's go over here. Let's go from my little controller, red button. Should turn it on, okay. I see it's ramping up. We're gonna take off the lens. Don't forget, remember, put a little bit of muscle into that. This is gonna come on. And it takes a little bit of time, right? It takes maybe a few minutes or so to kind of come on and warm up. Is it? Let me see if my image. Now I'm doing this in the daytime. It's ready to go. So really, 2 steps. Turn it on, either on your controller or on the box. And then your Illumibot has a red button. It has this red button, and you just push it. So I just pushed the red button on the little brain, and that sometimes take a minute or 2 or 3. It's going to initialize, turn everything on, and it's going to look for your Wi-Fi. But really, we're done. Other than adjusting the books, right, to get it just right on your house. So I'll talk to you, so it kind of gives you an idea, and everybody's Wi-Fi is different, but it takes a few minutes. And remember, you'll have your phone. Okay, so literally the last step is take your books, whatever you use, right, and then you're going to put it underneath on an angle. Let me just show you kind of how I do that. And it kind of changes every night. It's close. All right, so my Wi-Fi is still initializing. I'm just going to set it right now. It's on the angle. Let me see if I'm going to put this back. Still initiating Wi-Fi. All right, let me move this. All right, let's lower this. I just want you to see. All right. Okay, so this is on the angle. I just saw the Wi-Fi initiate. It has my name, my code, meaning we're connected. I could turn my phone on. You can see this. It's not perfect. I have to adjust it. We're ready to go. So literally, although I was talking a lot, you could see no more 5, 10, 10 minutes when you're new, because you're thinking like, did I plug that in? Did I plug? But once you do this, 5-minute setup, 5-minute takedown. That is it. So I'm hoping that this took out some of the scariness of the initial setup of like, I need computers, no, it really is that fast. Where the challenge is, masking's not so hard, right? We'll learn that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there'll be videos. It's the corner pinning, right? Like tonight, I'm going to sit out here and just practice. But it's like anything. I really believe in my heart, once you start to figure out this corner pinning, you should really be able to do it in 5 or 10 minutes. It might take you a month. Like you might get to show good enough. Or like, okay, that's great. But it might take you a month to become proficient, right? Whatever that learning curve is for you. But that's kind of it. And you're like, but it's easy to say. I'm not techie. I promise you, as you go and you learn. And if you said to me, Cooley, what's the hardest thing so far? So the hardest thing, there's 2. Corner pinning, right? But you can get there. You can get there. And I'm going to show you some tricks. I'll make a video. I'm no expert. But what I found to make this process a little bit easier. And then the other hard thing, which is easy in hindsight, but not when you're new, hence why Illumibot's making videos, hopefully I can make some videos, is onboarding. You're like, okay, it's not recognizing my Wi-Fi. Why is that? Okay, did you change the password? Like I had that moment of like, oh yeah, okay, is it my Wi-Fi? Is it theirs? Like, you don't know. All right, is it their end? Is it my end? So once you're onboarded, okay, you're like, okay, good. We get it. We know how long the process takes. I just showed you for it to recognize. It took about 3 minutes. The other one is, which is the fun part, is when you're in prompting, right? Sometimes the servers take a while and you're confused when it's making your image, right? You put your prompt in and then you hit that create 3 and you see it go to yellow. And then sometimes it gets hung up. You're like, dude, it's been over a day. Just to reiterate, sometimes, and remember, Illumibot does not own those servers, right? And maybe we can even do a deeper dive on this if necessary. They rent them from multiple different creative models, right? So some people think, oh, I'm so mad at Illumibot. Why would they, right? Because I would be too. Like, I just bought a projector. I just bought the system. I'm scared to death. And like, why isn't it? It's not them. Illumibot, they don't own them. So if it's something on there, I'm not saying it never happens on Illumibot's end, but most of the time, it's the servers, it's them. So if you go in, and here's how long, just as a reminder that it should take for you to generate images too. Regular images, 3 to 5 minutes average, up to, because sometimes the servers are busy, right? There's like a million of us making images, 20 minutes. 20 minutes tops, but when they're working in normal, 3 to 5 minutes, a trick I found was don't just make one image at a time, 2 or 3, make like 9 to 12. I found like that's the sweet spot. Somehow, I don't understand it, but it seems as if it warms up the servers faster. And once it's warm, things get cranking. I mean, so sometimes even faster than 3 minutes, right? It just depends. But sometimes we experience, and myself included, you're frustrated because the servers, that's just the tech. And the only other thing that may take longer is if you animate an image, because it's putting these images one after another so that it can create that movement. Now that takes longer. I don't know the exact time, but that can take longer. So you'll be patient. So part of this with the fear is the action. Like, we can talk about this. We can look at a million of these videos of crazy cool doing these things. But until you do it, which we all know, the action will take away that fear. And just know you're stumbling. Like, to be honest with you, I'm scared to death of, I'm going to literally sit out here and practice the corner pinning. Like, me and my wife did it the first time, right? Like, but here's where the magic comes. So once you know how long this startup starts, once you initialize and you're onboarded, you're fine. You won't have to do it again. And then you learn, okay, I know it takes 3 minutes. Cooley showed me for everything to work. And now you know about the images. You're like, all right, if it's taken longer than 3 to 5 minutes, 20 minutes max, something's wrong. And if you see it flashing yellow, 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 that means you're in the queue. So many times I've had to delete, start over. But if you see that yellow flashing go to green, now it's making your image. Illumibot likes to say, I kind of like it. It's cooking, right? It's cooking it. It's making your image when you see the green flashing. And then it will be done. So now you kind of know in your head, all right, it takes this long, it takes, so that's it, but you don't know what you don't know. Like, I was frustrated, I'm like, is it me, is it them, is it, and that's why we're trying to do these videos. And then of course on your house, you know, there's another thing I was frustrated. I'm like, I just bought this, had that little buyer's remorse. Why did I buy this? Like, my house doesn't look, it's the image. So now you start to figure out and learn your house. Okay, this image looks better, it wasn't my image, right? Blah, blah, blah. But to land the plane on this, the joy of all this is when you actually put the image up and you look at your house and you go, all right, now I know why I got it. This is worth it. Nobody in the neighborhood is going to have the house. And then to go a step further is you actually animate it. Like, I thought it was cool, but when you go to animate, it brings the house to life. Okay, so like, picture this. So now it's animating, right? I had a neighbor go, he goes, it looks like we're at a theme park. In fact, I added the music, right? So now you've animated it, you add the music, now you are a theme park. Now it's like Disney or Universal in your neighborhood. And he said it to me, right? Like, the biggest compliment, right? He's like, I feel like I'm at a theme park. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, any comments, And listen, we're trying to create the community because we don't know it all. Illumibot doesn't know it all. We're all kind of learning together. Of course, they're the masters, right, putting this together. But if you can add value, please add value. Talk to them in the comments, right? There's no one way or right way to do anyway. There's many ways to get there. I appreciate you guys being here.